Hello y'all, we once again dive back into the world of fear with Fear 2. But before we begin, I want to give a shout out to Katophoenix for yet another great piece. Now let's dive right in. Developed by Monolith as a sequel to the first game, with an intent to open the world up more and vary the environments and enemies, while making use of a revamped engine. The game retains the original game's concepts, but in my opinion, executed more sloppily. It feels much more focused on the action, and while the horror elements are there, it's a lot more focused on the jump scares than the tense atmosphere of the first one. Taking place at the end of the first game and afterwards, you take the role of Sergeant Beckett, a soldier part of the squad that is inducted into Project Harbinger, a project dedicated to creating psychic commanders to control the replica forces. Honestly, the story is lackluster, the pacing feels odd, the characters mostly serve as Alma treats, you'll figure that out later, and the fucking ending is stupid and just what the fuck? I mean, what the unholy fuck were they thinking? Seriously, a rape victim fucking jumping your bones? What the unholy hell? Like, I normally don't like the spoil games, but what the fuck? Overall, it's a hell of a step down from the first game. It feels like it's just chasing the trend that was Modern Warfare, which a lot of shooters of this area did, and each shooter was made worse for it. It follows similar gameplay to the first game, but dumbed down and made worse. It honestly just feels like Call of Duty with slow motion. Toss in an obnoxious ass HUD filter of stupid tech glasses, which highlight literally everything collectible in the environment, and you've got a recipe for mediocre and boring gameplay. Not to mention the fantastic AI of the first game is either not built to handle large open areas, or they dumbed it way the fuck down. At one point, I was just waiting around a corner for each enemy to mindlessly charge into me as I mowed them down one by one. The AI was my favorite thing in Fear 1. How they would flank, grenade, call out, flip cover. You don't see that much here. The only point I really enjoyed myself was when they let me steal a replica mech. But even that was short-lived. And back to the lackluster action with jump scares tossed in every now and then, and Alma initiating her bad touch sequences. What's that, you ask? Oh, Alma's legitimately trying to jump your bones, and it initiates an annoying QuickTime event sequence. That's right, literal rape avoidance QTEs. Just think about that. Just think how hard that'd be to explain. So, you want her to do what to the character now? Well, Steve, obviously, we want Alma to fuck him. Non-consensually, of course. That way you have some sympathy for the character. What the fuck, Joe? The controls are strange like the first game, but they've been shuffled around again, so you have to get used to a whole new set of non-standard controls. How do you like that? I end up swapping guns or tossing grenades where I mean to shoot so goddamn often in this game, and it's really fucking annoying. One of the good areas of the game, if you can forgive their derpy AI, the variety is nice. Plus, it was good to see the replica return and mop the floor with the armor cam forces. My favorite part of the game is when they first reveal the replicas are back and you have to fight off waves of them. And they brought new units to support them, such as their huge mechs. Plus, there is more supernaturally influenced enemies than the first game, such as electrical ghost creatures and the frenzied psychic commander rejects who have gone mad and lost all semblance of sanity. Hit or miss. Sometimes the game succeeds with the dark, spooky pacing and tension, and at other points the atmosphere is just obliterated with boring set pieces and predictable cliches. Like, oh no, who could have seen this character going to die? Oh no, he's dead. The game literally starts with a fucking nuclear-esque explosion. The game tries to emulate the sounds and music of the first game, but in some cases it literally recycles a lot of the audio tracks from the enemies. The music has its moments, some tracks do stand out well, but many are not as memorable as the first game. And the recycling of audio effects just feels lazy as hell for the replica forces, especially given the fact that Replica and 2 are a new generation of the forces. And I'm pretty sure these ones aren't cloned from Fettel, and they are a replacement for the earlier generation seen in 1, so you'd think they'd have a different sounding voice. Dark and creepy at times, but with plenty of issues. The game loves the lag and slowdown, with load times to match. And while the game can be pretty and cool looking at times, but it also has a really annoying HUD that throws me off. It's like I'm wearing the world's dumbest sunglasses at night, which happen to also make everything that you can pick up have a glowing box around it anytime you get remotely close to them, which I find to be irritating and distracting. Well, besides the lackluster story with a shock ending, lag and long load times, recycled audio, trend-chasing changes to the original formula, destruction of the best AI I've ever seen in a game, and an over-reliance on jump scare horror, it's at best an sort of game. Honestly, rarely do I play a game, and while recording it, do I look over at the timer and be like, can I put this down now? No? Well, shit, back to the boredom. Honestly, I'd recommend staying away, or if you really have to, get it cheap would be the only time I'd recommend it. Morbid curiosity is the only reason I could see playing this game for yourself. And what's worse is I'm told 3 is even worse than this. I'm not looking forward to that game. While the gameplay itself can be mindless fun, I'd recommend just playing the first game over it. It has better gameplay and is more challenging. I'd like to thank Kato for another great art piece though, and I'd like to ask y'all to check her out down below. Check out all of our media and the Twitch down below as well. I live stream daily around 6 p.m. EST. This has been Core and I'm signing off.